The legend of Lakshmi Prasad.
After being on Coffee with Karan, yeah,
Look,
think.
I have to put this out. She refused my first film. I had a bit of a broken heart then. But in my heart, I said that one day I'm going to make this girl more famous than she is. And there it was this Sunday. The one television show. I've just decided to tell you, you may be #1 at Crosswords, or you may be #1 on the Amazon. You ain't fighting the TRPs of Coffee with Karan this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really sorry. No matter how brilliant she is, I finally made her famous. What do you have to say?
Thank you, Karan. But I think it was the joke about where you hide your mic that made me famous on Coffee with Karan.
I want to tell you that everybody who's messaged me after the show said, we've never seen you more stumped, more shocked, and more perplexed than you've ever been on this season. And it's true, because this is what's been happening since I've known her as a child. But secretly, as her closest friend from my years, I feel like this sense, like just today, Ranbir was like teasing me, and he was like, you're so hyper about this book launch. Like, it's more important to you than what you're doing right now. And I'm like, because hidden there is a lot of love and a lot of pride for all your achievement. And I think that that's what really makes me like not be able to express it, because we have a layer of humor in our interaction. But truly, I mean, I think taking the leap that you have, I think has been amazing. And now the legend of Lakshmi Prasad, which is your bout with fiction, and all the 4 stories, which are immensely gorgeous, with their inherent, I would say there's an inherent lying feminism, which we have to talk about. But not only that, the storytelling
Is he
power.
going to stop, and do I get a chance?
No, because when you get a chance, you start talking about my hidden mind. Okay, talk.
Ask me something.
I just did. How do you feel? हाँ, क्या लग रहा है? क्या जो किरदार आपने निभाया? Isn't that what they are? मेरा character बहुत bubbly है. That's what they used to say in Lehre in the 80s. Bhavna ji will know.
No, but in Lehre in the 80s, actually, I have a video clip. Somebody sent it to me, and I'm there with this bouffant pink lipstick, and somebody's asking me about how I see things, and there I am, and I'm saying, you know, I always see things in a funny manner. I don't know if funny things happen to me or I look at them like that. So that video is probably the origin of Funny Bones, like you have the origin of Wolverine. That is my origin video. Yeah.
Right. No, so this transition, when you wrote these 4 stories, especially the first one, which is Noni Appa, you said that went through a beat with you. You started it at age 18.
Yeah.
And something about that which I read about you, which said that you were always like this plump nerd with a book in your hand.
Yeah.
So going to Noni Appa a little later, did you ever imagine that you would be on a platform that would be about you being an author, best-selling author? Did you see that happen?
I mean, plump nerds don't get to be best-selling authors?
Well, I don't know. You said that. You said that. I don't know. I was a plump nerd and far from writing a book right now. But yeah.
So I think that this is to everyone. You know, we grow up and we need to conform to society to fit in. And my granny would always be moaning about the fact that, you know, I'm wearing dal-stained jeans, or I don't brush my hair, and I should go on. And my mother was always trying to put me on a diet. And I would tell her that, you know, I don't want to fit in with this world. Why would I want to fit into a size 4 dress? Yeah. And I think that for all the oddballs and misfits out there, eventually, if you just follow your path, you will reach somewhere where no one else has, because you are uniquely meant to do something that only you can do.
And what do you think about, like, what I read the book? There is this underlying, like, you know, feminism, deep feminism that runs through all 4 characters. Is that intentional?
So basically, after reading the book, even a lot of journalists came to me and they said, you know, with great trepidation, they asked me, are you a feminist? Almost like they were asking me, are you a Satanist or a Justin Bieber fan? But feminism is basically about wanting equal opportunities. And anybody who says that they are not and they don't believe in feminism are idiots, is what I would like to say. So, and there's my friend Nanu. We have fights for feminism, about feminism. And I think that it's very simple. Women are trying very hard to find their place in the world, which should have been theirs anyway. But unfortunately, men had the keys, they locked us in the cage, and now we are finding ways to wiggle out.
And what a way to wiggle out. So tell us about your first story, which is Noni Appa. Like, you went through beats to reach that final narrative.
So Salam Noni Appa is thanks to my grandmother, who dragged me to Jamaat Khanas my whole life. which she doesn't take me anymore because she claims that I can't do this Shajo Didar properly. I don't know what that is, but now she's ashamed of me. And it's a story I've been trying to write since I was 18, and I wrote it 3 times in 3 different versions. First, the protagonist was an 18-year-old girl, and then I wrote it again at 40 when the protagonist was 40, and now finally, the protagonist is Noni Appa, who's 68, and she finds love in the winter of her life, and that is what it is.
And we, of course, would love to read a passage from that.
Yes.
And we have, of course, the best actor of our industry and ever, who I'm a huge fan of, and who better than her to read a passage from this wonderful short story. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome none other than Shabana Azmi.
I hope, sorry.
And one more.
Sorry. Do you want to say something about it before I read? Would you like to? No, just a little bit. Give them a...
So Salam Noni Appa is about 2 sisters. They are Ismaili sisters. One is 68, one is 2-3 years younger. And the thing about sisters is that no matter how old you get, that banter between sisters and teasing each other doesn't seem to go. So when you're with your sister, you behave like you're 12 and 14, no matter how old you get. And this is a story, and the part that Shabana ji is about to read is about when the daughter comes back from London and she meets her mother and her aunt, and this is the conversation that they have.
In the first week of January, Malika came to visit Noni Appa from London. She got her mother and aunt a suitcase filled with imported goodies, chocolates, perfume, hair dye, and of course, the one thing that every Indian woman pesters her NRI relatives for, undergarments from Marks and Spencer. Binny eagerly took the coveted items from Malika and dramatically declared, "These British are really third-rate people. I tell you, their only saving grace lies in their first-rate bras. Their balcony-style Marks and Sparks give such good support for height." That Friday, Binny dragged Malika to the Jamaat Khana, hoping some nice Ismaili boy would prostrate himself at her feet. In the car, Binny was chuckling away. "Malla, you know, when your father passed away, Appa was not that old, just close to 50. She would go to the Jamaat Khana in her tightly draped sari and her pink lipstick." Noni Appa interrupted. "Again this story, Binny, how many times?" Binny laughed and, ignoring her sister's protests, continued, "Arey, let me say what I want. So all the men in the Jamaat Khana would look at her and keep trying to say, 'Ya Ali, Madad.' And then, when they would go completely out of control, they would find sources to..." Malika giggled. "What does out of control mean, Binny Masi? What would they do? Explode in their pants?" And Noni Appa, horrified, almost banged into the auto rickshaw that had suddenly halted in front of her. "Chee, not dirty like that. They would send proposal, that's all. And after that, your mother, always such a prude with her constant, 'No, Binny, I don't want to get a bad reputation,' would never even greet them back," said a giggling Binny. "But I think things have changed. If you really want to know what out of control is, Malla, then you have to look at your mother. These days, she's panting all over that yoga teacher, her boyfriend, Anandji." And imitating her sister with a wobbly falsetto voice, Binny continued, "Anandji, have a whiskey today. The weather is perfect for it." Turning that poor vegetarian Guju Bhai to an alcoholic, that also on my whiskey. Malika exclaimed, "Mom, you didn't tell me all this." Noni Appa, wanting to strangle her sister, said, "Ya Ali, it's nothing like that. Yes, I offered him a drink, and so sometimes he has one now when we play. Your Masi hates cards, so what should I do? Just keep playing by myself?" But the good-natured ribbing in the car didn't stop. And since Noni Appa could not turn her hearing aid off while driving, she just had to bear with her family, her eyebrows raised in exasperation, shaking her head at their sly digs. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Shabana ji. I mean, who better than Shabana ji to have read that with the kind and level of emotion and the level of conversation that she brought to the book. Your thoughts again on on how Shabana ji read it.
Are you mad? She's an icon. What are you asking me?
Good, I just wanted you to say that.
Yeah.
You must also praise others. That's what I wanted. All right. Now, very excitedly, the first story that I read in your series of 4 short stories was The Legend of Lakshmi Prasad. I remember reading it, and very secretly, I felt like there's a film here as well. Like, I felt very strongly as a filmmaker, which is something that we never really spoke about. But I felt very strongly because it was a story of triumph. It was a story of progression. It was a story of a young girl really fulfilling her dreams in the best possible manner. It had all, in those pages, number of pages, and I know God knows we take so long to tell a story sometimes. Sometimes there are screenplays that can meander and go on and on. But you went through every beat, from triumph to emotion to rage to overcoming it to everything. I mean, all of that in a short span of the story. To me, it was one of the best of the series. What do you have to say?
It was a story that when I was writing The Legend of Lakshmi Prasad, halfway through I started feeling that my editor will murder me. She'll say, it's not your Mrs. Funny Bones voice, which is apparently some, I don't know, it's like I'm possessed by this ghost that goes on. But, and I wanted to give it up. But I finished it and I sent it to her. And as luck would have it, she said, it's perfect. And then the story that I actually sent her, which I thought was perfect, and I said, I've nailed it. She said, you've nailed it so many times that it's full of holes. And she sent it back to me to redo. So that is what happens when you write. You actually don't know what you end up with. The Legend of Lakshmi Prasad is a story of a simple village girl who saves her community and the women in her community by a radical idea. And that's basically the core.
Well, very, very happily and excitedly, we have someone who's had a journey of her own to read a passage from The Legend of Lakshmi Prasad, from not knowing who the president of the country is to emerging as the strongest voice as a female actor of her generation. I was trying to give you a dramatic introduction, Alia. She just broke it.
No, I want to interrupt him. Since he's asked you this about the president, Karan, I want to ask you something. Can you please tell me what is a full form?
I'll pay you 501,000 rupees. Just shut up.
Just tell me, what is a full form of MNS? Just answer that. That's one thing.
I know what PMS is, and that's what I'm going through right now. That is what I'm going through right now. Anyway, thank you. I will not be answering any of your questions. I was going to say that she's had...
See, he did not know. Just rest easy. He doesn't know everything.
I know. I don't want to say anything politically correct or politically incorrect. I want to be silent. That is my stance these days. If it's possible, I'm maintaining a low profile.
Yes, very low.
That was not meant to be a joke. As I was saying, The Legend of Lakshmi Prasad talks about the triumph of a girl, and I truly believe this young child has triumphed from where she was and where she is today. I'm proud of her because she is my baby legend. I love you, Alia Bhatt. Please come on stage.